So we'll have it recorded. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for jumping on tonight. I think all of you probably know me, but if you don't know me, my name's Jenny Thomure. I'm a presidential. I've been with, so it is going to be 9 years with the company on January 10th. Like, how crazy is that? But anyway, I am super excited for tonight. So last week we talked all about vision casting and dream boards. And hey, who picked out their word for the year? Does anyone, if you have your word, drop it in the chat. I'd love to see what your words are. So we talked to Laurie all about like how to like set your goals and think about like big dreams and in your vision and pick your word for the year. So we did that last week. And so now this week we have a very special guest with us, this Miss Laurie Lambert. She is the regional sales manager for the Central region. Although I think many of you probably have seen her, maybe you like from other regions have jumped on Zooms and whatever else. But so she's for the Central region, which I'm located in, and Lindsay and Chantel, we're all in the Central region. And she's going to talk to us tonight about some of the things that she's done to get ready for the new year and get systems in place. And she's had some major success in this industry. She's now on the corporate side for us, but she's also been in the field. So she has tons of experience, and she's just going to pour some wisdom into us tonight.
Well, thank you. I always feel like you guys are really the special guest. Seriously, I don't just say that, but as I get to know each of you, and your stories are like so amazing, and what you're doing. And I love the one word. I read that book years ago, and I've always said a word for the year. And it's really, I've probably been doing that about 10 years now. But I want to share some things with you that just popped in my head. And I've shared with a couple of people this week, and they've really told me like, I needed to hear this because, there's always at this time of year, there's a lot going on in our world. There's a lot going on in our families. There's things we're having to deal with. There's seasonal depression. There's people that are overspending. There's people that are eating too much. There's people that are stressed where they're not, how they're going to pay for everything. There's just a lot of noise. And I think one of the best things that we can do to drown out the noise and keep our focus where it needs to be is to start being really intentional about where we're headed. And so I want to share something with you that first, though, what I want you to do is I want each of you to drop in the chat something you wish you had better last year. It can be something you wish you would have done, something that maybe it was an area of your business you struggled in. Maybe it's an area of your life. It doesn't even have to be about the business. Just something that you wish you would have been better at, or would have done better, or would have had. Drop that in the chat and let's see what everybody says. Kara says more confidence, followed up better, setting boundaries, scheduling. Oh my gosh, these are all things that I always say there's two kinds of people in the world, those who are scheduled and those who want to be. And I am definitely a wannabe, have to work on it all the time. But that's interesting that is one of the things that came up, because I want to share something with you. And it was actually 20 years ago when this happened. And it was the very best year I ever had in the industry. Have any of you ever felt like your business runs you instead of you running your business? Anybody besides me ever, like you're just, especially as a mom, because, my kids were much younger and we were kind of all over the board, and they were playing club hockey, and I had 2 boys in club hockey and high school hockey. We were on the ice 6-7 days a week. I had a daughter in there, and bless her heart, she's so easygoing, thank goodness. And but life was just really crazy. And it came to the end of the year, and I made really good money, but all I could think about was I didn't feel in control of my business, and I wanted that more than anything in the world. In fact, I can remember telling people, I joined this business to stay home with my children and have more time. And sometimes I felt like I wasn't giving them any time at all. Like I was in their vision, but I wasn't present, if you know what I mean. Like I was just, and it wasn't just work. In fact, as a mom, a lot of times I was taking care of everybody and everything except myself. Like, I was involved at the church and the school and the this and the that. And so I sat down one year and I thought, what do I really, really want? Well, one thing I wanted to do was I wanted to lose 20 pounds because my 20-year class reunion, yeah, I had my 40-year class reunion. I'm kind of old, but anyway, 20-year class reunion was coming up. And I was a cheerleader and all this stuff, but I was never this tiny girl. I was kind of the chunk. I was the strong cheerleader, and because I was a gymnast too, but I wasn't this tiny little girl. And I wanted to go to this reunion, and I wanted to freaking rock it. Like I wanted, and I'm gonna be like really transparent, guys, because you've got to know what motivates you, right? And I could say that I wanted to lose weight to get healthy. That'd be nice. But I just wanted to like freak people out. Like I wanted to walk in with this hot rocking body is what I really wanted. And so I set a goal that I was going to lose 20 pounds. And then at the same time, I was just thinking about other things that I felt like I'd kind of gotten off track spiritually. And I really wanted to read my Bible from cover to cover. Like I felt like if I just had something that I was focused on every day that I could just do, that would be good for me and it would feed my spiritual life. And then the third thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to be present with my family that year. Like I really set this goal. I really want to be super present with my family. But here's what you need to know. I didn't have any other options. My income was the only household income. I wasn't a single mom, but my ex now, but my husband at the time worked in the business with me. And so not working wasn't an option. You know, we had to make money, but I wanted to figure out a way to be more present. So now one thing I want you to pick up on is, did y'all hear any business schools in that? Because there really wasn't, but there really was. And that's what I want to share with you, because I want you to be thinking about this, because you've got to know what you really want. So I decided, okay, how am I going to lose weight? So I joined, this is back a gazillion years ago, I joined Weight Watchers because that was going to work for me, because I had 27 points a day and it was like a bank account. When I was out, I couldn't eat. And I'm I follow rules pretty well when it comes to that kind of things. I don't like to cheat because I want to be able to say, well, they said if you do this, you get this, and that's what I want, right? But I could also, like a bank account, I could put some in savings. So if I knew we wanted to go out to dinner on the weekend and I wanted to splurge a little or what have you. I also joined a gym. And I thought, I don't know when I'm going to go to the gym, but I'm going to, and then I found a friend that I wanted that would go to the gym with me. Well, I figured that the only time I could do this, I started getting up at 5 a.m. And remember, this is way before social media. So we weren't up doing our work at 5 a.m. because I couldn't call people. And that was our only option back then. So I got up at 5. I left my house at 5:20. I got to the gym at 5:30. I did a class from 5:30 to 6:30. I was back home by about 7:45. I got ready till about 7:15, 7:30, got my kids up and took my kids to school at 8:15 every freaking day. But let me tell you, I lost the weight in 3 months instead of 5 months. And guess what? I created a habit that made me healthier. It made me feel better. I'll be just really honest. For a lot of women, when we feel good in our body and our skin, and in my case, unfortunately, that means being thinner, my confidence raises. And so I was bolder in my business. And I'm not saying, look, to only have 20 pounds to lose right now. Holy moly, I would love that. But I have lost 15 since Punta Cana. So I'm pretty excited, because I started thinking about what did I do when it really worked. I didn't go join Weight Watchers. Skinny coffee is my new answer, by the way. I really didn't believe it was going to work nearly as good as it does. In case those of you that are new on here, you can't just do it one day. I had to get in a system, right? Everything again. In fact, Susie, my partner here that's on the West region, goes, okay, tell me exactly what you're doing. And so I get up, I drink a big glass of water or Skinny Hydrate. And then about 9 o'clock or 8:30, whenever my first call is, that's when I start my coffee. But I learned from my personality to have things systematized like that, because I had great systems in my business. But if you're not being filled personally, it doesn't matter how good your business systems are. Then I went and I bought a Bible that literally said January 1, January 2, all the way 365 days of the year. Because let's be honest, I knew I was not going to read my Bible every single day. I knew something would come up, but I had a system that told me how to catch up. So if it was January 27th and the last day I read was January 21st, I had 6 days. I don't know, I hope I never went that long, but I may have. I'm not saying I didn't, but I can tell you on December 31st, I finished reading and I felt way much better. And sometimes people say, well, did you do it for the wrong reason? Is it ritualistic? I don't care. Sometimes we have to do things with a system that become rituals and habits to get the right thing out of them. And I don't know if any of you have ever been there. And then the third thing was that I wanted to spend more time with my kids. Well, I had to work, and my kids went to school from 8:15 and they walked in the door at 3:15. I took kids to school, we carpooled, and my friend picked up. So what did I do? So when I was home when I got back from taking them at 8:30, I was on it. And I worked from 8:30 to about 2:30 every day, guys. I was running the largest, I'm going to tell you something kind of funny, Tupperware business in the United States at that time. I was the #1 consultant. And let me tell you how hard we had to work. We lost our downline 16 weeks after we promoted them back then. There was no forever residual. So when I say we worked hard, we had to always be in growth mode. We drank the Kool-Aid. We drove the minivan and drank the Kool-Aid. Let me just tell you. So, but I will tell you, yes, I love the book Atomic Habits, whoever just put that in. It taught me really good stuff. So at 2:30, I stopped and I read my Bible from, I took my last phone call actually at 2:30. So by 2:45 to 3:15, that was my time. And when my kids walked in the door at 3:15 for that entire year, I didn't answer my phone. I can't say I put it away. It was on the wall. But, and I think I had a cordless one too, but I didn't touch it till 6:15 in the evening. And either I was leaving for a party or I was training, or maybe I had the night off. But what I'm saying is my kids knew every day that they were going to get my undivided attention. And let me tell you, our house shifted. It was easier to get kids ready for school. They ate dinner better. Homework got done. I'm not one of those that did my kids' homework with them. Now, I was in the room, and if they needed help, I helped, but it was their homework, not my homework. I might be cooking dinner. We might be doing something. We may be going to the park, having an ice cream, whatever. They knew that 3 hours, and let me tell you, most of the time they didn't even want me for 3 hours, especially as they get older. For those of you that have teenagers and preteens and tweens, you know what I'm talking about, right? They want to do their own thing, but they want you present. I also knew that every Wednesday morning was my time. I took every Wednesday morning off just to give myself Laurie time. If I wanted to go meet a friend for brunch, it was Laurie time. Friday, I grocery shopped. I got my nails done. If I had a hair appointment, it was Friday. Friday night was date night. Saturday night was family night. I mean, I was freaking scheduled. But let me tell you, with no business goals, we grew more that year because I was intentional about everything. And I want you to really, those of you that wrote down, like, what is it you want? Choose that to be intentional about. I knew I had to work. So I was very intentional from 8:15 to 2:30 every day, except Wednesday morning. And I worked. In fact, I had someone on a call last night. I'm looking to see if anyone was on this group call I was doing last night that told me she just didn't think it was just, she needed to find people that understood her more because she worked full time. And I said, I'm going to give you some tough love right now. Because quite honestly, if you just came home and worked your business 1 hour of intention, I mean, totally non-distraction intention, you can build a diamond business with 1 hour a day. Now, you're not going to grow it very far. And as you start to grow, you've got to have more time. Please don't hear me say this is a 1 hour a day business. It's not. Chantel and Lindsay and Jenny, they're answering calls and they're doing things. But let me tell you, you can make a really amazing, what is our average when we disclose our income? In fact, they've gone up. I don't know how many of you have heard that, but our incomes have actually gone up over 10% this year at every level, and some levels over 20%. Average income. The company I worked for, the last corporate position I had, They laid about 30 people off on Tuesday. Can you imagine getting laid off the week before Christmas? My heart is broken. Here we are every Friday. I get I kind of wish they shared this with you guys. Our company has new people every single week on our corporate staff. I could pull up every Friday, we get a little thing from Donnell. If I don't know if y'all know Donnell, she's in HR, and it wishes everybody happy birthday and shares anniversaries and blah, blah, blah. But there has not been 1 week since I joined on June 6th that they did not welcome at least one new employee to this business. Guys, that says so much about where we are, because they're working with the same intention that I'm encouraging you to, and that many of you already do on here. I think that's just so important. We have to have such a focused intention of what do we really want. And so I want you to think about that. But what also comes with working with intention is having a vision of what your future is. And so exactly 4 years ago, right after I did that, no, it was in 2018. So yeah, 4 years ago, something else was shared with me. And these are the two things that have opened my eyes to growing a business. It's when I took a sabbatical from the corporate world, and I went back to the field because I wanted to learn to work on social media so I would be better. I never planned on staying there forever, but I wanted to be better for you guys for when I came back to a corporate position. And, we always talk about setting goals. And by the way, if you've not started for 2023, now's the time. You don't want to wait till January 1st, because then you're behind. You should be working on those goals on January 1st, not starting to think about them. So I always took about the last 2 weeks. I'd read the one word book. I've read it like 10 times. I read it. I come up with my word. I'd set my goals even before I knew about that book. That's just what I would do during these 2 weeks. And somebody made a suggestion, because most of us would set some goals, maybe 2 or 3 goals that we want, maybe a title or a rank we want in the business, maybe a financial goal, maybe I'd like to have a housekeeper, whatever. But this person that I got to know challenged me and my husband. This was really cool activity to do together, to take out a piece of paper and write down 50 things that you want. 50 things you can put a price tag on. Let me just tell you, we lived in a really blessed nation. It's really hard to come up with 50 things, but let your mind go, because sometimes when we just think about the year, we limit our vision. But when we think about having to come up with 50 things, so honestly, one of the things I had, because I had gotten rid of my housekeeper, was going back to having a housekeeper every other week. It's just 2 of us. But then another thing I had on there was to have a housekeeper 2 times a week, right? Because that's a whole different ball game when you have one once every other week and once you have one twice a week. There were things like I wanted to take a straight 2-week vacation on the beach, like rent a house for 2 weeks. Then one of my goals was to have 3 6-week vacations a year on the beach. And by doing this, it was really interesting, because then what they had us do is we put it into 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10 year. So you really looked, and what you found was, as you worked towards one and you built to get there, you're building your income, you're building your habits, you're building the things that you want, but you're also already looking forward and past that one to the next one. And your vision gets more and more clear about what you really want in life, because then you start to look at your goals. And then what I realized was, then you understand the reason. And the reason for my goals is, I look at it, so you might go, well, why do you want a housekeeper every other week? Is your house that dirty? Like, what's going on? Why do you need 3 6-week vacations? Well, we have 5 children. And I would love to go to the beach and treat each one of them at least once a year to a whole week on us. So we'd be there 6 weeks and each kid would get a week. So we need 6 weeks to be able to treat them while we're there. And so as I looked at this, what I really learned was my vision for my future is all about freedom and being available to my family. Why do I want a housekeeper twice a week? Because I want to sit on the floor and play with my grandkids more than I got to play with my kids. because I was too busy having to earn a living then. Now I want to earn this life. I've worked really hard. Are we financially where we want to be? Absolutely not. Will we ever be? I'm not sure if we'll ever get completely to where, because I think I'll always have vision of the next step. But those were two things that I felt were like really like changed my business in such dramatic ways. And none of them were about the business. Nowhere on so what I did then, I went and got those big, huge tablets like you can get for kids to draw on. And I wrote all 50 goals, 1 year, 2 year. And I have this wraparound mirror in my bathroom. And for 2 years, I had those up, and every day, Mitch and I'd be in there getting ready, and we'd talk about where we were at, and we would scratch them off. And no, we didn't meet them all, but let me tell you, it opened my mind so that when I decided, like when I came to work and it works, what was important to me? I had to work with a company that if there was a day that I had a grandchild sitting in my lap in the middle of a corporate meeting on Zoom, no one was going to freak out. They were going to embrace it. For those of you that don't know, when we were in Punta Cana, my daughter found out she had to be induced. And I just love this story because I just see it over and over, this company and this heart. And I said to Meredith, I said, would you care like if I changed my flight and went home? Like, guys, these flights to Punta Cana were insane. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, now I'm going to pay another $1,000, right, to change this flight. And this was exactly what happened. I said, Meredith, this was what happened. I go, hey, I just want to ask you, my daughter's found out she's going to be induced Sunday. Would it be okay if I left a day earlier? And she goes, why are you asking me? Go book your flight. That's who I want to be with. That's how I want to work. And, many of you have heard my story of why I chose this company, but it wasn't just then that I heard it again. And let me tell you, I don't know what everybody's faith here, but I'm a woman of God. And let me tell you what was really cool about it. I got reimbursed money on my flight. So God did what was right for the company, in my opinion. Like, it was only like $56 or something, but I was so afraid that I was going to have to submit another $1,000. But because the company did what was right, because my boss did what was right, and because we have a vision of future and people come first before anything in this company. But I want you to do the same thing within your own homes. I want you to know where your future is. I don't want you to be ran by your business. I want you to run. That year was so fun. We did everything. And someone said to me the other day, and I think that was the year that I learned what was most important to me, because people tell me all the time. So my husband and I love to play. Like, we spent 3 hours at an arcade, and we had this place in Arlington called Free Play. If y'all have one, you need to go, by the way. You pay $12 and you can play arcade games. They're all set to free play. And you just play and play and play. And then we're running here and we're going there. But I learned that it was 20 years ago that I learned that's what is important to me. It's my family. It is memories. Guys, if I had to live in a shack, if it's on the beach, it would be better. But if I had to live in a shack and I can make memories, that's really what's important. But it's a lot more fun building a business and having the income to do fun things. If you came to my house right now, we have 13 Christmas trees, full-size Christmas trees in our house. Why do we do that? Because we have 10 grandchildren and it lights their eyes up. And they'll have a gazillion things to open. They aren't expensive things. It's about fun. It's about, what do you really want? And I just hope that you will take that and take those two activities. Really encourage you to sit down and think about, what do you really want in life? First thing you got to do is, what were you missing? And that's going to be what will drive you. Just like I was missing the rocking body, and I wanted to rock a great body, and I did, man. I walked in there like this people had never seen me, because I hadn't seen most of them in 20 years. But I walked in, but I knew what motivated. It wasn't healthy. It wasn't anything but vanity. Pure freaking vanity. And you know what? That's okay. Because it got me in a really good, healthy place. I didn't just want to spend time with my kids. I didn't want to be that person that stood up there. Every time I'd say I joined this business so I could spend more time with my family, I felt like a liar. So I made it work, but I worked even harder. So I just encourage you. And then I encourage you to do the 50 list. And if you're married or you have a significant other, give them their own sheet of, it's hard. It's really hard to come up with 50 things that you can put $1 on that you really, really want. And then assign it a time frame. It'll give you such great vision. So I hope that this has helped some of you and inspired you and will give you something as you know, everybody has a crazy relative they're probably going to have to deal with over the holidays. Everybody, you know, there might be a present that doesn't come in. Hey, don't worry. One year I ordered all my daughter's things on Amazon and not one thing showed up. Not one. Not, thank goodness she was an adult and I was wrapping like pictures of it and putting it, had to go do some fast shopping. You know, all of that can be taken care of, but there's going to be noise. There's going to be distractions. There's going to be distractions in our business, but know you're right where you need to be if you take advantage of what we have to give you. And
I love that.
What I have. So Jenny, I'll let you
Sorry.
take
No, I was going to say, Laurie, those are so good because I think a lot of time, like I was getting inspired listening to what your big goal, you know, like the 2-week vacation, like I'm like, oh yeah, like that. But the 6-week, I'm like, oh, like that's like big. But I think sometimes we get too nervous or scared to like say our big scary, what is it, the big hairy audacious goals or whatever.
Right.
We get too scared to say it. But if we just say it, that might inspire somebody else to start thinking bigger and dreaming bigger, you know? So like you saying that was like, it kind of was like a light bulb, like, man, like I like, that's a huge goal, you know? And like, so that's something I'm like, maybe I should have that as a goal, you know, like, but no, this
I
was
want to have a party and a housekeeper do all the dishes and clean up while we're eating and me not have, that's why I want it 2 days a week. Like,
right.
You gotta know why, right? You got to know why.
Right. But I know you can't like share any like top secret things, but like what is making you so excited for 2023? Like what, like just give us a little bit of hype because I think a lot of us are super excited for what's coming for conference and just all of the things.
You know, maybe it's because I'm so new here and I've only been here 6 months, but I'm excited about today. I'm not even like, I don't know that there's one thing that I just feel like we've got to, as every time just like when I shared what Meredith said to me, when you are part of a company that thinks like that, and you're in a company that, I mean, goes out and, you know, some of you, you may not even been in a year. Maybe this is your first place to ever be in network marketing. I hope so, because you've done the best thing and nothing else will compare. But, you know, when a company comes out right before and says, hey, we're going to take these big, huge bonuses and we're going to give you another week because we want more of you to get them. That's unheard of, right? When people like, when you have a collaborative team, you know, this is the 3rd team meeting I've done this week, and it's been so much fun because the energy it's fresh. It's almost like we're a new company because we've got new products and new things. And here I'm the girl that's going to go in just about 5 minutes and put a wrap on my belly and a mask on my face. But y'all can go ahead and drink your coffee and do your gummies. But I'm still the girl. I love the things because those are new to me. And I think we have to remember that maybe what we've kind of gotten bored with, remember the person that you bring into the business has never seen any of it.
Mm-hmm.
The customer that you bring in has never seen any of it. They haven't had, like I said, it took me a while to buy into the coffee. I mean, like I said, I'm transparent. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. It took me a while. I just thought, yeah, really, is it really? But after a week, and this morning I didn't get to have my coffee. And y'all, I've already had 2 naps today, by the way. It's really good for energy if you didn't know that, because I had to leave the house so early and my stomach wasn't quite ready for coffee. And so, you know, I think I don't even know that there's something, even if there was a secret. I just think when everything I see points in the right direction. And that doesn't happen real often.
I love that.
Not pointing in the right direction, and everything I see is pointing in the right direction.
I just love your perspective because you've been in the field, you've been in other companies, you've seen a lot of things. And I know like when we were, you know, talking last month, just hearing your perspective coming from the outside and like how badly you wanted to work with this company, you know, and like how good, like sometimes we get in and, you know, some of us have been here for so long that we sometimes forget like how good we have it. And like the extending Christmas cash, adding the stocking stuffer bonus, like those are things that they didn't have to do at all. Like, you know, just
well, they never even had to announce them, right? Most people don't. Y'all, I've worked with a lot of companies. I did contract work for a lot of years, which means you're working with multiple companies at many times. I've never seen company offer $10,000 bonuses and 15 and 20 and 25. And oh, by the way, if you've already had that rank, we'll still let you earn half of it and do it again. I mean, those kind of things really tell you they care. Because they didn't, the company was if you're paying out more money, you don't have to offer those things. Usually you do those kind of things when you're not paying out more money, right?
Right.
When you're desperate, not when you're thriving. And so I think that's what excites me too, is that comes from a heart. That, you know, I still don't know the Pentecost anything like you guys do. Or many of you do, but that comes from a heart. And that doesn't come from a pocketbook. That doesn't come from anywhere but someone's heart that cares about people. And even though Mark's not in our day-to-day business as much as he used to be, and I think it's kind of funny because I can't tell you how many times I call someone at the office and Mark will be in the office. He's just not as visible, right? And good for him. Heck, he worked a gazillion years. He should be out there enjoying it. You know, he wants to have a 6-week vacation 2 in a row, right?
Right.
So, just like me. And remember, I said I wanted it 3 times a year. So, but he has been very conscientious about finding people with heart like his to engage alongside of him. And I just think that's so amazing. And if any of you haven't heard and you live in Dallas, Fort Worth, or within a 3-hour radius, I'm going to do a selfish plug here. Tuesday, I'm having a holiday party for anyone that works to come to my house, and we're going to do some team building. And I just wish I could fly every single one of you in. You can see all 13 Christmas trees. And maybe we'll decorate another one. Maybe we'll get another one. Who knows? But or if you have team members or if you have prospects, you know, I hope that when looked at, my peers and my bosses and the owner will look and say, thank you for having the heart of what this company is about. Because I see it right here in this Zoom right here. I see it.
I love that. And if you guys haven't heard Laurie's story, so when she wanted to work at It Works for years, and when the chance came open, you interviewed what, like 15 times?
7. It felt like 15.
Okay, 7.
7 interviews.
An astronomical number
tonight.
But it was because they care so much about us in the field that they wanted to make sure they had the right person being visible and connecting with us. And I think that if that doesn't show you the heart of the company, like, you know, I mean, like that they care that much, that they would take 7 people's time to interview you, you know, I mean, so I just love when you say that. And I love hearing outside perspectives, because sometimes we're in a bubble here and we don't know, but like we have it so good, you know, and I know there's more good things coming, and I'm excited for 2023. I just think it's getting better and better.
I want to share a quick story, and there's some good and bad in this story, and it's not how I say to run your business, but I want to share with you how strong this company is. I had a lady reach out to me in my region. I'm new to the state, and she started about 12 years ago, and she built strong. But she really didn't know what she was doing, according to her. And but she built really good. And then when people started moving to like social media and all that, she really didn't know what to do. And her leaders left for whatever reason, I don't even know. And they never lived close to her, so she didn't really have a good contact. But do you know that she never has fell below double diamond? And she has not literally done anything. And I don't recommend this, but what I'm trying to point out is is you can work this business, and our plan is so well. She hasn't worked her business since 2017, and she's never had a month that she's not gotten a paycheck for 2,000 or more.
Wow.
Because she built big and she built strong and she built right. Now, she's had some fallout recently. That's why she reached out to me. So she's going to have to start again. But you know what? She's like, it's unbelievable that I've even had this. Like, who does that? And now she's like, okay, I've got to get going again. Like naturally things are going to happen. And like I said, I don't recommend that, but I share that because if you build this business right and you build it strong, you too can take 6 weeks vacations in years to come. You can build that. You can have the life, you can have that, but you've got to put the work in and you've got to see the future. But when she told me that, I was really taken back because I've heard of people getting pretty good residual for a couple of years not working. But she was an ambassador. Her highest rank was double and she never went below double. So that's not like a ambassador rank or a black diamond or anything. You know, how many of you would like $24,000 dropped in your bank account every year for something you did 8 years ago?
Right.
And so if you had, and the reason I point that out is because there are going to come times in your life, you may have to take some time off. You may have sick in-laws like I did. And to know that that money's coming in, whether you work or not, because you did the right things and you built right. I don't know, that just really touched me about, because it really made me go digging. I spent about 3 hours digging into our comp plan earlier this week after hearing her story. Because I wanted to see like how it's really quite amazing, guys. It really is. Chantel, how long? You've been around a long time, right? Too. Jenny's been around. How long have you been, Chantel? Lindsay, how long have you been around?
Oh, Chantel probably can't unmute herself. I can answer for them though.
Okay, yes, please do.
Chantel hit her 10 years in April. So she's at like 10 and a half years now, right?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, she can ring. Okay. And Lindsay is at 9.5 years. And I'm at almost 9. So we're the OGs on here. Chantel's like the OG.
How, Gabby, 8 years, that is incredible. I mean, that's just amazing to me.
Yeah.
And I'm so proud to be a part of it.
We've got some longevity on here, and then we've got some like newbies on here too, which is really exciting, and the thing is, like, as much as what you say touch me in one way, it can, hit them, a new person, in a different way, like we're all getting different things out of it. And I love that story because, I mean, you think about like she built smart and she built well, clearly. But to take, I mean, she got 5 years of her life not having to work, doing whatever she wanted. I mean, I would build for however long to get 5 years, what I mean? Like, and I mean, to think like, maybe she was able to just go travel with her kids or, have money coming in every month. I mean, that's incredible. That's a goal.
You want to go back to school or expand, do another career. And this affords you they say money can't buy happiness, but money gives you the choices to make things to help you be happy. Like maybe she wanted to go back to school. Maybe she wanted to explore a career in medicine. You don't know what people want to do. And I think that's the most beautiful, it gives us choices.
Right. I agree. It can be your vehicle. It can be whatever you want to go have your goal. Like this can be your vehicle to get you there. Maybe you want to be an all network marketing all the time, but maybe this is something to help you reach, another goal that you have, like you said, going back to school, paying for, med school, college, whatever it is. But I love that. So, well, awesome. Well, thank you, Laurie, so much. This was great. I just think, just reflecting, having the reflection, but then looking forward and creating the vision and, looking to 2023. And I'm excited for conference and to see you there.
I'll know more. We have been so busy with now. We're really viewing a lot of conference this week. That's why we're here. So
that's awesome.
May have some secrets after.
Oh, I'm sure you will.
So y'all have a great and Merry Christmas. And don't forget, if you're anywhere near the Dallas-Fort Worth, you got some frequent flyer miles. We have extra bedrooms, what have you. But I look forward to, I want you to know, those of you that are in the St. Louis area, I will be back. You are on my schedule for the spring. I believe it is the beginning of April, probably, or in April. I will talk to the leaders, of course, when's the best time to do that. But I'm coming back to see you.
Yay,
so I can't wait.
Fun. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Laurie. And you have a Merry Christmas too. And we appreciate you taking time out of your night tonight.
So. All right. Y'all take
Bye,
care.
guys.
Good
Thank
night.
you.